Man, I must say, after watching Incredibles 2, I can only say one thing. Jack Jack, the pop figure, is going to be the most sold out pop figure this year. I'm calling it. What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Today's finally the day. 14 years ago, I have dreamt of this movie, hoping it would get a sequel, and 14 years later, after 3 Cars movies, 2 Finding Nemo franchise films, and 2 Monsters Incorporated movies, Pixar has finally made Incredibles 2. Directed once again by Brad Bird and starring Craig T. Nelson back as Mr. Incredible, Samuel Jackson as Frozone, Holly Hunter as Elastigirl, and you also have Dash and Violet back in this movie. And this is the sequel from Pixar that we've all been waiting for. This review is going to be 100% spoiler free because this is a big movie, guys. No spoilers in this review. You are safe here. Incredibles 2 takes place right after the end of the first Incredibles movie, where you see, behold the Underminer! It all takes place right in that scene. Superheroes are illegal. They are not allowed to be present. And so the Incredibles family has to hide because the government doesn't want them to fight. Elastigirl gets a new job, so Mr. Incredible has to be the stay-at-home dad to take care of the kids. There's this new mystery going on. Elastigirl is working for this new guy in his company who's trying to make superheroes legal again, and they have to fight a new villain in the Scream slander. Watching all the Pixar movies again leading up to this movie and creating a Journey to Incredibles 2 series and having people talk about the Pixar films with me leading up to this movie. This is the film we've all been waiting for, and Brad Bird coming back to direct it makes it even better. And is Incredibles 2 good, guys? Absolutely. This movie does pretty much everything that the first movie did so great, except for one thing. We'll get into that in the negatives. But this movie blew me away. Craig T. Nelson as Mr. Incredible, back once again, really great. Holly Hunter as Elastigirl really becomes kind of the lead, because in the first movie, Mr. Incredible was the one who was doing the job and the missions by himself, and then his family comes back to help him to fight Syndrome. But in this one, it's Elastigirl. She's the one who's making the money and trying to support the family. And I just love seeing Elastigirl kick some ass, but I just love Mr. Incredible being the stay-at-home dad, because that's his real challenge in this movie. He has to take care of Jack Jack, he has to do Dash's math homework, and he has to deal with Violet and her boyfriend problems. Like I said in the opening scene, Jack Jack stole this entire movie from me. Jack Jack was so adorable and so hilarious. So many laugh-out-loud moments that I and my whole theater were laughing at. And Frozone, my favorite in the Incredibles franchise. Frozone gets a lot more to do in this movie compared to the first one, which was so good. And Edna Mode, voiced by Brad Bird, has an awesome scene. There's some great action set pieces in here. The opening battle against the Underminer was epic. There's a fantastic train sequence with Elastigirl. The final showdown that takes place on a boat. That is all I'll say. Look forward to that, because you're gonna eat it all up. When I went into this movie, I wanted to see if it would be different from the first movie, and it completely was. It told a different story, and I was really interested in it. The screenwriters did an amazing job telling the story. It is kind of a cliche story you've seen before, where the government gets involved with superheroes and the government doesn't agree with what the superheroes are doing. We've seen that before in Captain America Civil War, where political government things get involved, and it can be annoying, but here it's not focused on, and I appreciated that with this movie. They didn't go heavy-handed and shove it in your face. And the score, Michael Giacchino even improved some new original songs in the score. You get to hear the original theme, of course, which is so iconic. There's one scene with Jack Jack and a raccoon that had me dying. Look out for it, because you're gonna cry laughing. The villain of this movie is the Scream Slander, and watching the trailer, the Scream Slander sounded a lot like Kylo Ren, but here it's a really forgettable bad villain. Syndrome was an awesome villain. You really understood why he became a villain. He was a huge Mr. Incredible. He was his biggest fan, and then he was just turned away, and so he became a super bad villain. They tried to give you a motivation with the villain, and it just made no sense. I didn't care about it. I wanted a more stronger, powerful antagonist to challenge this team, and we just didn't get that. That's the difference between both movies. The first movie, you understood why Syndrome was a villain, and he was great. He had a lot of memorable lines and moments, but here, the motivation makes no sense, and you just don't care about this villain. In the end, guys, Incredibles 2 is such a fun time. It is just as good as the first one. I had a total blast with the movie. It was action-packed, it was hilarious, and it was everything that I was expecting from the movie. It surpassed my expectations. Is it better than the first one? It probably isn't, but I need to rewatch it a few times to see where I rank it. But Incredibles 2, go see this film right now. It's great. On my rating scale, Incredibles 2 gets a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Not perfect, but it is still incredible. Alright guys, that was my spoiler-free review for Incredibles 2. Now, what do you guys think of Incredibles 2 after you've seen it? Did you love it, think it was okay, or did you absolutely hate it? Let me know down below. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review, and if you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe today for more content. All my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!